Good morning, everybody. I was made aware this weekend about how the old 3D is so rational and everything has got to be proved. If you cannot touch something, feel something, it's like it's not visible, you cannot prove it, then it doesn't exist. As I always tell my students, the invisible is more real than the visible. And where this comes from is that since the fall of Atlantis, humanity went totally in their mind. So they want to rationalize everything, put it in nice little labels, and then label it and then judge it. And that's disappearing. It's being removed from us, so that we start to tune into our intuitive power, our deep knowing inside, so that the seeing, the hearing, the knowing inside is awakened. And that is our true GPS system. That is our true soul speaking to us. You know, I was actually looking at it in this form. It's something that I'd written and somebody was editing it. And then it freaked them out. And then I realized again. And I said to her, unless you read it with your heart and you energetically receive it, you cannot receive the information. You cannot tap into it. You cannot know the truth. And that is the same with anything in life. That's why when we have to take those leaps of faith, we do not always know the outcome. But it's for us to take that leap of faith, and then we find that we are being carried through it, that miracles start happening, and we start seeing and knowing and experiencing life from a totally different perspective. There's a beautiful story that I read a few years ago when I was reading Indaba, My Children, which was written by Kreda Mutwa, who was one of the last African Shanusi. That means high priest in the African tradition. And he said something when he was training for becoming that. His grandfather was training him, and he made him stand in front of the tree. And he said to him, "What is this?" And the boy said, "This is a tree." The grandfather said, "No." And he asked him again, "What is this?" And he said, "It's a tree." What is this? And then he said, "It's a living being." And then his grandfather said, "That is at last where you are seeing truthfully." The whole of Mother Earth speaks to us. The rocks, the trees, every plant, every animal, every bird. And if the sea, the waters, the mountains, everything is encoded energetically. It's energetic being. The whole galaxies, the stars, the star systems are energetic beings. Everything emits energy, and everything is a vital force energy. Everything has prana in it. Everything has living soul in it and spirit. Most of whatever happened on earth has been falsely recorded as we sank into the sea of forgetfulness, as we sunk into them. Now that we finally are able to raise our consciousness, and the more conscious we become, and the more we go into the higher dimension, the more we will start to access again what we could not access before. That is why your intuition is so very important. Your intuition will tell you things that you cannot pick up rationally. You cannot, like it when Atlantis fell, where humanity divorced their mind from their heart. They divorced themselves from all and everything else. That is where separation was formed. The deepest knowing, the deepest truth is within you. And when you start trusting that, your whole life changes. You suddenly find the doors open into the unknown, into what has always been invisible and becomes visible. You start tuning into that, just like you would start tuning a radio into the right frequency so that you can hear the broadcast or the television. Everything is energy. You are energy. You are pure energy. And the more crystalline you become and the higher your vibration becomes, the more you will see that everything is a living being and that everything has something to teach you. And there's so much information that will come to you that your rational brain will not be able to try and get to that. It will just sort of like go and get electrocuted or something. And then it is because your mind is finite and your soul is infinite. You know, in my energy work, when I am downloading these things and I'm shown them, I'm often amazed at what humanity was capable of before and what we are now growing into. And then I stand in awe and wonder and I think to myself, wow, we lost all of that, but now we're regaining it. And the more we're regaining in consciousness, the more open we become, and we start to understand that all of creation is part of us. The keys and codes are in us. It's for us to unlock it with our souls so that we can finally get back to the state that of a first beginning, which was in the seventh dimension, which is often referred to as the seventh heaven. But we can only do that through the heart, through our intuitive knowing, through that deep gut knowing that is inside of us, and to trust what is given, because that's where our guidance centers lie. That is where guidance comes. And then to speak it, to not be afraid of speaking that, of sharing it with the world. Because I find the more I share, the more people are saying, wow, okay, I don't always understand it, but I'm energetically receiving it, and my soul knows. And that is the beauty. The soul knows. The soul recognizes it. Because the soul is infinite. You have had many, many existences and parallel existences, and in other universes, in other galaxies, in other star systems. You are a being of the stars. This planet is but not even a tiny speck in the horizon of the infinite whole. Your soul knows that. And as we raise our consciousness, the soul reveals itself to you. The soul reveals its knowledge to you. The soul reveals what is there that you have in infinite knowledge within you. It is time to awaken to that. It's time to live that. It's time to bring that into the new earth and the new golden age. And to be positive about it and not to shrink. You know, when I always look at these doom prophets that are everywhere, I just think myself, you know what if you always think of doom and gloom, that's exactly what you create. But if you start having a broader vision and you know exactly where you're going, you start getting positive about life, and you start to say, okay, I want to create something extraordinary. I want to bring my soul gifts and my purpose and my talents into form and being. I want to, with great love, lead humanity into that new golden age. And I want to create unity. I want to create more love. I want to create more joy and happiness and beauty. I want to live the best life that I can. And you know, when you start to affirm that, and you start to bring your thoughts back and your heart and soul and your intuitive power back into form and being, your whole life changes. And then it doesn't matter anymore what is going on in the world. What matters is what you are doing with your life and what you are co-creating with your life. Because in truth, you are a son and daughter of a divine. The divinity is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. As one with the divine source, the source of all creation, and as one with all that is. Because in truth, everything is one. One source, one being, one love, one light, one wisdom. We are all one. Yet in that oneness, there is an infinite multitude, and everything and everyone slots in exactly as they're supposed to be. Nothing is missing in the whole of creation. All is perfect and whole and complete and created with love and in love. You are so loved. You are so loved. You are always divinely guided. You are always divinely inspired. And that inspiration comes through your own intuitive powers and the truth of your heart and soul. May you find the truth today and live it. And may you start trusting your intuitive powers more and more. Thank you for being on this planet. You were brave. We all were brave. But you know what? Before we incarnated, we knew that the old earth would die and be no more, and that the new earth was born. And she was born on the 5th of July, 2020. And the new age was actually, the golden age was anchored in on the 22nd of February, 2022. We are in it. It's up for you to claim your place and to live with all your heart and soul and create unity consciousness within you so that it can manifest outside you. What is within is without. Remember that. I love you, and may you have a beautiful, beautiful, loving, lightful day, and may your intuitive wisdom show you the way. And may you trust that intuitive knowing and what is given to you. For in truth, what is essential now is invisible to the naked eye. You cannot touch it, you cannot feel it, you cannot put it and measure it because it ain't there yet. You have to tune into it. It isn't that it is not there yet, but in the 3D, we cannot tune into the fifth. But if you are moving your consciousness and you move into the fifth, then the fifth reveals itself. That's what it is. It's a tuning in. And the more conscious you become, the more you can tune in and the higher you can tune in. Then you can start tuning into the fifth, the seventh, the sixth, and the whatever, and even higher than that. Because your soul is not limited. You're not limited by the physical at all. The invisible is more real than the visible. Remember that.